NEMOPHILA have a brand new cover, but this one is something special. And I want to talk a little bit before we get into this, because NEMOPHILA, obviously, so many of us love them. I love this new four-piece lineup. I think probably more than most people. I've been really enjoying what they've been doing with Apple of My Eye and the new album, and just the whole energy they have. And going back to doing covers again, they've done some really cool, like these little studio recordings. But this one, now you may or may not have heard this song. And I am itching to press play because this is a biggie. They are covering a song by Nanase Aikawa, and this song's called夢見る少女じゃいられない. It's always been a bit of a mouthful remembering the name. But I tell you what, this song is freaking legendary. This thing came out in like 1995, and if you are into J-rock, or just girls rock in Japan and that whole scene, this is one of the most important songs on that journey. You know, you might have heard of some of the big names. Obviously, I mean, NEMOPHILA themselves, they've done Now No Yaon with Shoya, who were a big name in increasing the energy behind girls rock in Japan. And still Now No Yaon is that like little mini festival in Hibiaka, and they do once a year where they celebrate some of the biggest names in Japanese female rock. But this song by Nanase Aikawa, which came out in 1995, this is one of the songs that first got me into Japanese music. And I didn't hear it in 1995. I heard it a couple of years later. But I remember hearing this and just being like, wow. Now, I'm going to play you a quick clip from this. I'm not sure. It's an older song, so I hope I don't get copyright struck for this. You'll find out in a minute if I start playing it and the screen goes silent. But just to give you a vibe for this, this definitely had an old school feel even when it came out. But this whole song is about, like, the whole title is about, I can't just be some dreamy girl, just can't be some stereotypical female dreamy girl. It's kind of got a little bit of an empowerment sort of message to it. But just have a little listen to this first of all, and you'll probably gather why back in 1995, this was the rock song. And by the way, loving the 4:3 aspect ratio video. But this is the original. We're just going to play a little bit of it first of all, then we'll have a first reaction to the NEMOPHILA cover, which I cannot wait for. So original time. Like, this riff is iconic. Everyone knows this riff. And this song will come up a lot in karaoke as well. That's proper old school style production. And that is like, that's a melody that you'll hear if you walk through a karaoke shop in Japan. This is one that you'll occasionally hear coming out of a room as you walk by it. It's pre-chorus. Looking forward to hearing this in Mayu's voice. Just like, it's weird because like, even though the production and everything is so old school, it's still so effective even now. Alright, so what we're going to do, you got an idea for how it goes. Now, it's possible that before watching my video, you'd already seen the NEMOPHILA video, so it might be that you'll come in and see my reaction after already seeing the NEMOPHILA video, but I had to show you the original first, because, oh man, that song's like, that's one of those ones where if you're into Japanese music, if you've been following Japanese music for like a freaking long time like I have, that's one that's ingrained in your mind. It's a big part of the Japanese girls rock subculture, and it's a big part of the step to where we are today with bands like NEMOPHILA. And NEMOPHILA, I'm excited to see what they bring to it. I'm imagining that, as with a lot of their covers, it's going to be a more raw version And there's been times when that's worked for me, times when it hasn't worked as much, where I felt like some of them it didn't really sort of like add as much, like with their earlier covers. But the stuff they've been doing recently, like that, the Christmas cover song they did was absolutely amazing. Their self-cover of Style, I thought, was amazing. And this is one of those songs where it's got such a 90s Japanese production. I guess it almost sounds a bit 80s if you think of Western music, because it's got such an old school style production to it. I really can't wait to hear just a raw version of this done by NEMOPHILA. So let's go. You can tell how excited I am about this. Don't let me down. Come on. It's NEMOPHILA, Nanase Aikawa. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. My expectations are too high, but let's go. Oh, I like that bass addition there. Nice. I'm just like, alright, here we go, chorus time. Yeah. There's something very breezy about their version, you know, without the keyboard it just sounds kind of almost chilled. Got this like funky chilled vibe to their version. That clear bass tone is really giving you a sort of chuggy energy underneath. Vibrato on the end of Mayu's voice as well. Tammy's got a smile on as well. The weird thing is, it's in my head. I'm like hearing the keyboard bits in my head. There's something. There's something very chilled about this cover. It almost feels like second nature, like a song that they've probably all grown up listening to, just done in karaoke a few times. They're like, yeah, why not do it? All right. I gotta say that was a really that was I didn't know what to expect going into that. I like that because of the fact that we got to hear a lot of the things that I really love about like NEMOPHILA's tone. You know, really getting to hear that sort of that lovely sort of rocky vocal that is just kind of like for me is like the linchpin of NEMOPHILA's sound. You know, she's got just such a great voice, and I love hearing how that was conveyed in this song. The sort of cleanness of that chugging bass line underneath was really nice. You could hear it nice and raw in the way that the original maybe sort of slightly glazed over. The guitar line as well, nice and sort of clean. Everything about this was just clean and raw, and yeah, pretty much what I said I was looking for in there. I will say you definitely do notice the lack of the keyboard layer. The keyboard thing is like so identifiable in the song that when it's taken out, that is. So I was almost a little bit surprised that they didn't do anything to cover for that. I was kind of expecting that maybe Hazuki would be jumping between doing the guitar line from the original and the keyboard line and maybe something like that. But they just kind of straight played the bass guitar, drums, and vocals. So for me, this felt much more just like a warm-up version, you know, like sometimes when you're in a band, like you'll have like a warm-up song that you play and practice just to, it's something like nice and easy that you play just to sort of get everything in motion, limber up, get a little bit ready, you know, it's our first song, all right, let's pick up the instruments, all right, let's play this one, let's play the Nanase Aikawa song, okay, he's played that, okay, all right, we're ready, we can take on to something a little bit more now. And for me, it felt like that, it felt like they were playing this in this kind of, it's really chilled, hey, this is just a warm-up song we do. It's interesting because I know it's a very different style of music, but we were talking recently about how Scandal, who've obviously been around for a trillion years at this point, Scandal did a cover of Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison, and the reason was that was one of the original songs that they sort of did as like one of the first songs they picked up and attempted, and they kind of did it as a warm-up song themselves. Relatively uncomplicated song, and so they recently did a recorded and actual cover version of that for a recent EP, and this kind of had that similar vibe. It was kind of like we're not really trying to do anything to the song, it's just this is a song we're used to picking up our instruments and just sort of like, let's give it a little play. Let's get it played. This is this song. Everyone knows it. Let's play it. And it kind of had that vibe. So on one aspect, I got to be honest, I love the fact that it did that. I love the fact that it was a cover where we got to hear all of the tonality that we love about NEMOPHILA on it. I think there is a little bit of me which I wish they'd done more with it to make it kind of more their own. I don't know whether you can do that though. If you do that, is that sacrilege? Is it sacrilege to alter? It's sacrilege to alter. Nothing's sacrilege. So long as there's a creative motive behind it, do whatever you need to do. We always have the original. So yeah, in a way, I'd have liked to hear them do more. This is actually something I said about the original NEMOPHILA covers that I heard way back in the day when they were first kicking off. Was kind of like, it was like, I liked them, but I always felt like I wanted them to stamp their own identity on it a little bit more. Like a lot of the time, it just felt like they were straight up playing the notes because they're that good that they can just play anything. And this one kind of felt like that. It felt like they were just straight up playing the notes. So I enjoyed it from the perspective of hearing it in their beautiful sound and their beautiful talent. I would love to hear them do it with a little bit more of a sense of reinterpretation. Hey, maybe if they want to take this one into the studio rather than the practice room, they can lay it down and then one of them can lay down the keyboard over the top and see if they can do a full version of it. But I enjoyed this. I thought this was nice. This is, to be honest, this feels like a chill out version of the original. The original feels a bit more like, because it's like a big full on production. It feels a little bit more sort of, I think the word I often hear used that I really like is when people say urgent. The original sounds more urgent. Like it's really trying to sort of shake you and say something to you. Whereas this one feels a bit more chilled. Like, hey, let's jam, let's play. You know, it's like a good times version. And so on that level, I think this is where I would definitely love that if I had like a chill summer playlist, which I'm probably going to have because the weather is insane here right now and it's only getting hotter. I would put this on like a chilled summer playlist. I think I would. It'd be weird, but just having this come up, and I think people would be like, oh, that's cool. That's like a chilled out version. Yeah, so I think I'd have this on a chilled summer playlist. Like a chilled out version of NEMOPHILA doing Nanase Aikawa's most famous hit, in my opinion. I think in most people's opinion. That was cool. I really enjoyed that. Really liked it. It was pretty much straight shooting, but it was just nice to hear. Yeah, that was good. I really felt nice about that. And it's left me with, like I said, I went into this with high expectations, and I've come out of this more with a feeling of just kind of like a sense of calm. Like, yeah, that was just nice. That was nice. And so yeah, this is now about to get shoved in a bunch of playlists for my upcoming summer heat wave where I boil to death in my own skin. And that's what. So get in the comments, tell me what you think. I'd love to see what other people's comments on this were. Do you know the original? What did you think hearing this if you hadn't heard the original? Did you have any opinions based on that? Because I suspect if you heard this about hearing the original, it might be a little bit confusing. You might be like, oh, okay, so what is this? Love to know what you guys think. Get in the comments, tell me as always. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.